in as far as hobby stuff, the stuff which my escapism is concerned. All the reading I do outside of work is normally based around that.
Been covering for months now, but still most people don't seem to be aware of the fact that it's not just one show that they're working on, but the whole cinematic universe.
Henry Cavill just dropped a bombshell that's shaking the Warhammer universe to its core. Amazon's grand plans for a woke Warhammer 40k series crushed. Female Custodes gone. But how did one man manage to take on a corporate giant and win? Behind closed doors, a war was raging. Leaked info reveals heated arguments, threats, and a Cavill ready to walk away. Now we've got the inside scoop on how he saved Warhammer's sacred lore from Amazon's clutches. Fans, you won't believe what went down. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Picture this. Amazon execs lounging in their fancy offices thinking they've hit the jackpot with Warhammer 40k. Little did they know, they were about to step into a minefield of angry fans and lore loyalists.
I have been into it since I was 10.
What's your army at the moment?
Custodes.
Ah,
yeah.
I'm going Necrons next year.
Necrons? Okay.
Amazon had big plans. Oh yes, they did. They wanted to modernize Warhammer, make it all diverse and inclusive. Female Custodes? You bet. They thought they were being so smart, so progressive. But guess what? The fans weren't buying it. Leaked memos show Amazon pushing hard for these changes. They wanted to turn Warhammer into some kind of woke wonderland. But the hardcore fans, they went ballistic.
I am effusive about getting the being loyal to the source material.
Social media exploded like a Tyranid hive fleet. Boycott threats flew faster than Thunderhawk gunships. It was chaos, and not the fun kind Warhammer fans love. Now, let's talk numbers. Rumour has it Amazon sunk a cool $1 billion to this Warhammer project. That's right, a billion with a B. They promised investors millions of viewers, maybe even hoping to create the next Game of Thrones. But with fans in uproar, those dreams started looking shakier than a Gretchen on stims. This wasn't just about one show, folks. Amazon had visions of a whole Warhammer cinematic universe. Movies, spin-offs, the works. But now, it's all hanging by a thread, like an Imperial Guardsman facing down a Carnifex. Enter Henry Cavill, the hero we didn't know we needed. Word is, his first meeting with Amazon execs was explosive. Sources say he walked in, slammed down a copy of the Warhammer Codex, and said, "This is the law, touch it and I walk." Can you imagine the looks on their faces?
And I've been involved in the Warhammer world for
40,000 years.
40,000 years. Oh, well, longer, depending.
But hold on to your bolters, because this is just the beginning. If Amazon thought Cavill would play nice and be their pretty poster boy, they had another thing coming. The battle for Warhammer's soul was only just beginning, and Cavill, he was loading up for war. Folks, if you thought Henry Cavill was just a pretty face with big muscles, you're in for a shock. This guy's got more Warhammer cred than a Space Marine has power armor. We're talking about a man who spends his free time painting miniatures and can quote the Codex Astartes from memory. Cavill's not just playing a role, he's living and breathing Warhammer 40k. Now, those bigwigs at Amazon? They thought they'd signed up Superman to be their obedient poster boy. Boy, did they get a wake-up call. Our inside sources tell us that production meetings turned into all-out war zones. Cavill wasn't just pushing back, he was going full Primarch on those suits who dared to mess with his beloved lore. But here's the real kicker, the juicy bit you won't believe. Remember those female Custodes Amazon was so keen on? Well, word on the street is Cavill put his foot down hard. He reportedly told them, "The Emperor's finest are male, period."
Video games before reading the books.
I thought the books were based upon the games because anytime I saw a Witcher book, it was always game up.
Can you imagine the looks on those execs' faces? They must have been sweating more than an orc in a soap factory. As if that wasn't enough, rumours started flying faster than a Valkyrie dropship. Whispers in the hallways, hushed conversations by the water cooler. Everyone was saying the same thing. Cavill was ready to walk. That's right, he was prepared to hang up his power armor and leave Amazon's grand plans in ruins. But here's where it gets really crazy. Our sources say Cavill laid down an ultimatum that would make even Robout Guilliman proud. "It's the law or me," he reportedly told the Amazon big cheeses. And guess what? They blinked first.
As far as hobby stuff, the stuff which my escapism is concerned, all the reading I do outside of work is normally based around that.
That's right. The corporate giant backed down to one man who stood his ground for what he believed in. So there you have it, folks. Henry Cavill, the unlikely champion of Warhammer, facing down the corporate behemoth and coming out on top. But don't get too comfy just yet. This battle might be won, but the war for Warhammer's soul? It's far from over. Stay tuned, because things are about to get even crazier. All right, folks, hold on to your bolters because we're about to dive into the explosive Custodes controversy that nearly tore the Warhammer universe apart. For those of you who've been living under a Necron tomb, Custodes are the Emperor's personal bodyguards. We're talking about genetically engineered super soldiers, the cream of the crop, the ultimate badasses of the Imperium. And guess what? They've always been dudes, always. But Amazon, in their infinite wisdom, decided to shake things up. You won't believe this, but Amazon actually thought it'd be a great idea to introduce female Custodes. Can you imagine? The audacity! It's like they took the sacred law and tossed it into the warp. Fans went absolutely berserk. We're talking full-on Tyrannid invasion levels of chaos.
Been covering for months now, but still, most people don't seem to be aware of the fact that it's not just one show that they're working on, but the whole cinematic universe.
Social media exploded faster than an orc's gun backfiring. The hashtag #KeepCustodesCanon was trending for weeks. Memes were spreading like a Nurgle plague. YouTube videos racking up millions of views, all slamming Amazon's bright idea. It was carnage, pure and simple, but it didn't stop there. Oh no, it got way worse. Retailers started seeing Warhammer merch gathering dust on their shelves. Loyal fans were refusing to buy anything remotely connected to this woke Warhammer nonsense. Games Workshop stock took a nosedive. It was like watching a titan fall in slow motion. The pressure was building. Amazon was sweating bullets.
To be anything live action, I would have to be very aware of that. It is obviously character rich, especially the 40k universe.
Games Workshop was caught between a rock and a hard place. Something had to give, and boy did it give. In a move that shocked everyone, Games Workshop dropped the hammer. They released the ultimate guide to Warhammer 40k, and guess what? It confirmed that Custodes are exclusively male. They even used he and him throughout the text. Talk about a U-turn. But here's the kicker, the real juicy bit you've all been waiting for. Was this really Henry Cavill's doing? Did he single-handedly save Warhammer from Amazon's clutches? The truth behind this is more shocking than you could ever imagine. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal will blow your mind. Alright folks, it's time to spill the tea on how Henry Cavill, our unexpected hero, took on Amazon and came out on top.
I mean, the easy answer is Warhammer 40,000. That is my jam.
This is the showdown we've all been waiting for, and trust me, it's juicier than an orc squig stew. So picture this. We've got angry fans ready to storm the gates, Amazon execs sweating bullets, and Henry Cavill standing firm like a space marine facing down a chaos horde. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a chainsword. Now, here's where it gets wild. Our insider sources tell us that Cavill wasn't just making polite suggestions. Oh no, he was ready to go full exterminatus on this project if they didn't respect the law. Word is, he marched into that final meeting and laid it all on the line. Can you believe it? Superman himself, ready to walk away from a billion-dollar franchise.
The characters from the Warhammerverse, the universe that I want to be, but I can only really be one, because once I'm one, then I can't be others.
But wait, it gets even crazier. Rumor has it that one of the top Amazon execs almost got the boot over this whole mess. Apparently, they were the mastermind behind the female Custodes idea, and when Cavill shut it down, heads were ready to roll. Talk about grimdark. Now, we couldn't get Cavill's exact words, believe me, we tried, but our sources say he made it crystal clear. Stick to the law or he's out. And guess what? Amazon blinked first. That's right, the corporate giant backed down to one man who stood his ground. The aftermath was like watching the Imperium celebrate after beating back a Tyrannid invasion. Games Workshop dropped their bombshell announcement, confirming that Custodes are staying male, just like in the original lore. And Amazon, radio silence. Looks like someone's licking their wounds.
The greatest privilege of my professional career, to have this opportunity.
So there you have it, folks. A victory for the fans, all thanks to Henry Cavill's iron will. The female Custodes are out, the lore is intact, and Warhammer fans can breathe a sigh of relief. But hold on to your bolters, because this saga isn't over yet. What does this mean for the future of the Warhammer series? Will Amazon finally learn to respect the source material, or is this just the calm before an even bigger storm? One thing's for sure. With Henry Cavill leading the charge, Warhammer's future is looking brighter than the Emperor's golden throne. Folks, the message is crystal clear. Don't mess with beloved lore unless you want a fan rebellion on your hands. Even a corporate giant like Amazon couldn't ignore the power of passionate Warhammer fans. It's a David and Goliath story for the digital age, and Cavill's our unlikely hero. So what's next for Warhammer? With Cavill at the helm and fans watching like hawks, it could be absolutely epic. We're talking about a series that stays true to its roots while bringing the grim darkness of the far future to life on screen. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This war for Warhammer's soul? It might not be over yet. Amazon's licking its wounds now, but don't think they've given up. They've invested too much to walk away completely. We could be in for more behind-the-scenes drama, more leaked memos, more fan outrage. The battle for the Emperor's legacy is far from over, and you can bet we'll be here to spill all the juicy details. Stay tuned, Warhammer fans. The real war might just be beginning.